Right, so today's interview is with Ananda, an agency owner who we helped literally double their agency in a span of about 60 days, which is pretty crazy. When we first started working with him, he was chopping and changing between different niches, didn't really have a core offer, and had no way to truly predictably bring in clients at scale. And then, literally 30 days after working together, he sent me this message, which I'll add a screenshot up here, where he said that he closed a $1,500 per month client and an $1,800 per month client, all within the span of a couple of days.
Wow.
And he then went on to literally double the monthly recurring revenue in his agency, adding about 12K in monthly recurring revenue. We were able to help him do this by, number one, restructuring his offer, setting him up a paid ads funnel, and then helping him dial in his appointment setting system. There are a ton of gold nuggets in this interview, so make sure you watch it all the way through. Enjoy. Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. So today I'm here with Ananda. He's been one of our clients for just about maybe like 3-4 months now.
Coming up, third one now.
Yeah, awesome. And so do you want to just give us a quick introduction on name of your agency, who you guys serve, and where you're based?
Yeah, so hi guys, Ananda. And the name of my agency is the Aloka Agency. We're specializing in content creation and lead generation for real estate agents, and we're based in Brisbane, Australia.
Awesome. Perfect. Cool. So yeah, Ananda's been one of our clients, like I said, for about the past 4 months now. And so first thing I wanted to ask you is, what's like the main core problem that you originally came to us to solve? And what was like the main thing that you were really focusing on and struggling with before we started working together?
I think definitely if I had to narrow it down to one thing would be scaling.
Yeah.
I was here and there with the agency as you know, over the last couple of years, trying to figure out what sort of product, what way to approach my clients and what niche to serve. And once I've sort of figured out like, hey, this is the niche I want to target, and I've got some like moderate level success with like a couple of clients here and there, then I reached the threshold, I guess, where I needed some more mentorship. I needed some more information. And so I reached out to you to help me scale and take me to that next level, which is the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of just like didn't have huge amount of clarity on like exactly what our client avatar was.
Oh no,
kind of
yeah.
restructuring our core service packages, and also just like scaling client acquisition as well, the main things.
Yeah. So with scaling, I guess came the whole process of restructuring the offering, making everything more streamlined, actually identifying, like picking like one client avatar and creating a plan. So yeah, under scaling, all of that's included as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And next thing I wanted to touch on was, out of all the coaching programs out there, why did you end up going with us? Like at the time, at the time, like why did you choose our program specifically?
First of all, because I was aware of you because you've done some like guest sort of lessons and stuff for other social media marketing courses that I was a part of. So I knew of you. And two key things that actually made me just reach out to you and be like, I was like pretty like determined to like just get started straight away, as you could probably tell from our first call.
Yeah.
And that's because once I figured out my niche, which is real estate, I know that you already have a very, very successful real estate marketing company as well. So it's just like I will be able to get the most tailored and most accurate information directly from you, who's done it for ages, for like the last 3-4 years. And then another thing was you're local. You're like an hour drive from me.
True.
And it's about as like close as I can get. Like if a guy who you also like went to my university. So it's like someone who's almost freakishly like similar situations, like pretty much everything exactly the same. And I just thought like, if I want to get to where you are, then might as well just come ask you. The smartest and fastest way to do it. So yeah, that's what drove me.
Yeah, 100%. And I definitely think that is a good general tactic, that like once you've gotten clarity on your niche, working with an agency owner that is not necessarily like directly in the same niche, because there's lots of different niches out there, but in the same general category of niches. Like if you're in the e-com space, like would definitely recommend I'm definitely not the best agency owner to work with and get mentorship from if you're in the e-commerce space. If you're in lead gen, definitely we've been doing that for quite a while, and we know how to help. Cool, man. That's makes a lot of sense. Pretty straightforward. And so up until this point, like as a result of all the work that we've done together, like implementing the stuff that we have between helping you identify your client avatar, restructure your services, build out the paid ads and the client acquisition system. What's been the outcome so far? How has it impacted your life as an agency owner? Where are we at now?
So basically, the biggest change uh that I've experienced so far would be clarity, is understanding what exactly scaling looks like and what exactly the internal operations of an agency need to look like to get to the levels that I'm aiming for. Because then we
Yeah,
have like our revenue goals and like our like kind of like client numbers in our mind as we're going forward, but we just don't really, when you're starting out, you have no clue like what kind of support and scaffolding it takes to hold that up. So that's, I guess, the biggest thing that I've learned, and that was the first thing I learned. And in terms of just like clients wise, yeah, like I doubled the amount of clients that I had, because when I first came on, I was going like a very high ticket but low number of clients approach, which we've now changed around to making it more accessible. And we've built out like pipelines and funnels and systems that actually are like bringing inbound leads. I hate reaching out to people like outbound, like asking for business and stuff. It was just something I hated, and it's probably because I wasn't good at it. But we figured out a system that brought clients to me, and then now from where I was when I started to where I am now, the company's definitely grown. Our offerings have changed, and yeah, we've like doubled the number of clients that we had. So, and we've set like a mental goal for us to head towards to the end of the year. So the goal is to still hit that by December, I think.
yeah. And what is that goal?
I think that goal is 70K. I think 70K a month.
Yeah,
I think when I started, I was on 12, and now we put everything on pause and like restructured a few things in the meantime. But now I'm should be back above that 12K. And if the trajectory continues, should be looking at 15 to 20 next month as well.
yeah, absolutely, definitely on track to hit that. And yeah, now that everything that we put in place now, getting to 70K is just going to be a matter of just refining the processes for the back end of your fulfillment, and then turning up the ads, booking in more calls, and just continuing to scale.
Yeah, hoping so.
Yeah,
Hoping so. Yeah, and with the support and mentorship you're giving, yeah. So it feels less daunting. I'll say that. Because when you're aiming for big goals, when you're by yourself and you have no support and you don't even know if it's achievable, but having someone who's achieved like the exact same things that opposite you and helping you has been super, super helpful. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side, where do you think what do you think you'd be doing? Where do you think you'd be at right now if we didn't get started working together 3 to 4 months ago?
Yeah. We're fucking confused, I'll tell you that. I mean, I think what I would do is, I reckon I would be definitely in a more confused place, in a more chaotic place, because I had like no set sort of, I had like basic like products that I was offering in like service bundles and things like that. But as we found out, like they weren't like sustainable as much. Um, and I think I would have actually, because I like my revenue was on an up, and then it probably would have like crashed majorly. But it's not even it crashing and losing clients. That's not the issue. It's just not knowing the way back up, not knowing a roadmap would have been very not good. So
Yeah,
we're glad we've got that.
yeah, absolutely. And is there any like big picture takeaways or kind of golden nuggets of advice that, in the 4 months that we've been working together now, that if you could like go back in time and just kind of like whisper something in your ear and go, hey, like do this, do that, do this. What do you think are kind of like the main kind of big picture game changes that have really moved the needle forward for you?
Oh man, okay. That's a good one, because there has been a lot of like internal like frame shifts that I've went through over the last 3 4 months. Um because but number one is just like patience.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've dealt with this, bro, yourself, like when you were starting out, but sometimes when you're doing stuff like repeatedly for like 10 to like 15 hours a day and you're getting like nothing's happening, you just feel like you're just like doing actions, but then like what it actually takes to make things work is like something that you don't have. It's like, okay, the other guys like they've got this thing, but then you're just like repeating those steps that those people took, but you're just not gonna get to the same ending. But then it was like clockwork. It was like directly after like it was like a bit over a month, I think, that we were like doing the whole like completely revamping everything and then getting all the stuff written and filmed and ads out and like days with like 5 6 sales calls lined up. um from that to getting my first client was just like I remember like the day before being seriously like, bro, like what is wrong with me, like
Yeah.
this is taking forever. And I was like pretty burnt out as well because I was like every day was like 3 to 4 sales calls and
Yeah.
it was tough. But yeah, like clockwork, just 1 2 3, just got like 3 new clients within like a 2 week period right
Yeah.
after that. So it's just patience would be the first takeaway. And then another thing would be systems, like the importance of creating systems is something that I've really taken away. Also SOPs has been a big thing. Because I never used to create it. Like I'm pretty disorganized when it comes to that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, so that is something that you taught me, like the importance of doing and the importance, like the key parts that will play when it comes to hiring my own staff. So yeah, those are like 3 key things that I can think of right now. But there's been like tons of shifts. Overall, if I would say an overall big takeaway is that like working with you made me realize how easily achievable my goals are. It's just you just got to put the right things in place and do the right actions. And you always hear that and you don't really buy it. But when you're actually doing it, you can just tell, like, okay, I'm like, he's telling me exactly what he's done. So I just literally have to do those things. So that's
Yeah,
made it easy.
100%. Like, so like it's funny because there's so much of like the real advice that actually does move the needle forward and give you those big shifts in revenue growth and take you to the next stages of the agency are things that most people have heard before, but that it
Yeah.
just hasn't been tailored in the right way to like your situation or really driven home for you, or you haven't spent the money on a mentor to really just like take the advice. Because sometimes you just need to drop, some money on a mentor to go, okay, like I've spent this money.
Yeah, better listen. Yeah.
I better listen. I just need to do what they're gonna say and implement it. And that's really like because I've worked with dozens and dozens of mentors. I never stop working with mentors on my end as well. And a huge part for me is just like reducing that decision fatigue of thinking about, okay, what do I need to do next? It's just being able to have that advice from a position of authority that you can like actually trust and know, okay, like they've done it. They're a few steps ahead. I can see their results. If that's what they're
Yeah.
saying, it must work. And I just need to do it. And because I know like I know that when I'm having kind of periods of lack of momentum, it's usually because I've got uncertainty around the direction I'm going and like what I'm working on. And
Yeah.
so I end up being less productive because I'm not sure that like, am what I'm focusing on, is this the right direction? Is this the right stuff? So that's a huge part of it. And like, some of those things are, is just like one service, one client avatar, one way of generating sales calls, do it with paid ads. It's like, I could tell like whoever's watching that interview right now, like you're hearing that advice, but
You're
99%
not
of
gonna
you
take it.
aren't going to implement it because obviously it's more complicated than that. And there's nuance and there's a lot of strategy that goes into implementing all that. But at the end of the day, that's it. It's just like focus on one client
I think
avatar.
what you touched on,
Yeah.
what you touched on with decision fatigue is one of the key things. Because it's not like if I just knew like, okay, I was gonna make a decision and like I can just see like 6 months ahead that turning out well, I would do it. But it's just like a because you're starting out and because you're beginning and because you sort of fumbled your way into this thing over the last like few months. You have this thing of like, yeah, I'm just like it's this imposter syndrome thing. Like I sort of like I finessed my way into this situation, but like there's no way that I actually know like real things. And then you like pay someone and they tell you like things that you're gonna do anyway, and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not stupid. Like,
Yeah.
but it's just having that extra form of like approval as well and validation, which does make it easier because a lot of the times you're right, is that we may know that we have a general idea or intuition of this is the direction we need to go to, but we just don't trust ourselves. And rightly so, because there's no
Yeah.
proof as to like why we should trust ourselves. We haven't done shit. So
Yeah,
that's really
100%.
helped, yeah.
100%. Cool, man. And so if there's anyone else watching this right now that's like on the fence about being one of our clients and joining Scale Matrix, getting to be a part of the mastermind, what would you tell them?
First thing is I'll tell you like my thinking, which is like uh obviously this is not just like Liam. Obviously I love working with this guy and I'm gonna continue working with him and until like we hit those goals and then hopefully keep working with him. But just with any mentor, before you're going to jump on, just research them and look
Yeah.
at them, see if they're legit. Because you would know the amount of like SMMA gurus and stuff out there, like
Oh
how many
yeah.
of you actually own an agency and stuff. So look up those people and just be like, see where this person is and see, okay, is this where I need to get? And does this person have the skills to help me get there? And then just look at like what his students and stuff are saying about him. Um, and then just trust him and then just go for it. As like you said, with like if you're looking for anything with lead gen, um, obviously anything around like services or like real estate based or anything like legal mortgage that kind of based, like 100% I'll recommend Liam because he's like already done it. But even if you're outside of those niches, if it's like just like lead gen, and if you're wondering how to scale or how to structure your product or how to set up like an automated paid ads funnel for yourself, I would 100% like recommend you, because you've you've not only got the knowledge, you've just systemized it and made it really easy to like follow. So you just
Yeah.
tell us, okay, do this, and this. And it might seem simplistic at the start. That's probably because it is simplistic and you just need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Simplicity scales, complexity fails.
That's
That's the
right.
name of the game. Awesome, brother. Cool. That's pretty much everything I wanted to go on. Any final thoughts? Any final takeaways?
Okay, yeah. If you can afford it, like realistically, do it. You'll make more money with a mentor who'll tell you exactly what to do than spending that money in random ass places. Because we know how it is. Like we deal with customers, we deal with ourselves. Like everything sounds great until you have to actually pull out your card.
Yeah.
Do your research. If you know the guy's good, just do it. You won't regret it. And I recommend Liam. So go for it.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate it. That's it.
Easy.
Thank you.